Hello, welcome. This is part 2 of the 8-string multi-scale headless guitar, electric guitar. So we're on to the neck. So if you watch part 1 of this series, you'll know that this guitar has been inspired by Emergence, the new track of Sleep Token from their upcoming album. And not only has it been inspired by the sound of it, it's one of those where actually I'm in the realm of making guitars for artists, and that's exactly what I would love to be able to do. Making a guitar for number 4, or Ivy of Sleep Token, this guy. Now, the likelihood of him actually messaging and saying, hey, I love your vid, blah, 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 I'm a sub, you know, all that jazz, is minimal. But we can dream, and friends and family of mine have said, you've got to manifest these things. So I'm manifesting. So today is now the neck. So there's a few stages, and I split it up into 2 primary sort of stages. The first is to get the stock all prepped, so it's nice and square. I have planed it and thicknessed it at Mile House Studios, which I'll put just here. Thank you again, Paul. But what I do is I skim it actually on the machine using a skimmer. Hang on, I'll try and grab it. Using this. And then I go through the process of cutting out the pocket for the fretboard, of which I then can inlay where the truss rod, carbon rods are going to go, and then I glue in the fretboard itself. That is pretty much the stage 1. Stage 2 then goes into actually shaping the back of the neck and the top of the neck, which includes the fretboard radius, and as well as the fret slots and all the little details and inlays that I'm going to be adding in. Follow along to watch these 2 lovely bits of wood look into hopefully a lovely custom headless multi-scale 8-string guitar neck. Let's go.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
So I charged up the battery, and obviously you don't want to see me drill some more holes, but basically I've just continued that process so that the spoil board has a counter bore on the underside to the vac bed, so it's got a area of which to be able to vacuum up through, or scavenge, however you call it. But now I have the spoil board on the machine, so speedy uppy time lapse of the first few stages. I have just completed the first half, yeah, pretty much. So basically what I'm doing is I recess the fretboard, so I inlay this soprano into this channel. So what I need to do is get the truss rod installed, but I'll wrap this up in PTFE tape, or Teflon, I think some of the Americans call it. The carbon rods are already in, so what I'm doing, or what I have done, is let that glue and dry. So then I'm making sure that the neck stays true, and then I'll install the rest, just so then there's no weird contradicting pressures on the neck as it dries at like different rates and everything. Trying to keep this very balanced in terms of the stresses in the grain. So yeah, it's staying all straight at the moment. So I'm going to wrap up the truss rod, and what I do is, because this blue side is the rod itself, so this is threaded at both ends, so it will actually sit this side down. What can happen is the truss rod bangs, and it's usually because the rod itself taps the bar, and sometimes you can put the best pressure in the world into that truss rod cavity, and it might be really tight. However, sometimes just after the neck has been released and it's all cut out, when you tap it, you can sometimes hear it bang, and it's not good. Obviously, that can transfer into the amp itself. It's just not great. You can hear it and feel it. So to counteract that, I use just some black silicone, and this actually sits. So if I lay that there, you can see I've got a flat end and then another flat end, and what it does, I'll probably put it about here, and I'll put a bead in and then stop about half an inch just before the ends, and that'll be enough. So yeah, quick time lapse of this happening. So this is all glued up. This is just a bit of plywood with some sellotape around it, and the reason why I use sellotape is so that the plywood, or if I use for example this, it's a bit of pine for when I do some glues, but yeah, I use a bit of tape because the PVA doesn't bond with it, and so it creates a nice barrier. So this is all looking nice and good, so you can see. So that's going to go to the side and dry. I've got some new cutters on order, so I can know I'm going to machine this all nice and clean. But for now, I'm going to grain fill the body, and then probably tomorrow sand it back, and then so this will be dry, and then come Friday, hopefully the cutters have arrived, and then I can do the other half, which is actually like the radiusing, the fret slots, and obviously the back of the neck. So yeah.
The next day.
It is Friday, and I've had a delivery of new CNC cutters. See there. So I've got a ball nose and then two end mills, 1/6 and a 10. And so the neck is all glued up. I wonder if I can spin the camera around. Truss rods all inlaid in there. Carbon rods are in there as well. So this is all glued, set. So what's really good is that it's really flat. Obviously, you're not going to be able to tell how true it is on this. Take my word for it. So I have just put one of the precision rules. You can see it as straight as you're ever going to be. So now the job is to get it back onto the CNC, and then skim it, and then I'll start machining the back of the neck, do a flip, and then machine the front, so it'll be radius, fret slots, and all the other bits and pieces, and then we'll have a neck that comes out, and then I can start cleaning it up and sanding and grain fill, which is where the body's at right now. So I've got this all grain filled at the moment, so I'm going to sand it whilst the machine's cutting away. I can basically work on something else, trusting that the machine's going to do its thing, because it's a reliable workhorse. So yeah, I can do two jobs at the same time. Let's go. Thank you for watching part 2 of this series build. Follow along for the next, which will be part 3, which will be sanding, grain fill, all the fretwork and all those lovely bits, including spraying, which is always a fun task in a garage. But if you've enjoyed this video, please like and comment down below. If you want to stay along for the journey, please subscribe. My numbers are slowly going up. Thank you to all those who have subscribed, and hello to all the new subs along the way. But until the next video, goodbye.